So should I start? A very good evening to all present here. It is indeed our privilege to have you all here. I, Kriti, extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests and all the delegates to a knowledgeable discussion on the topic New Agricultural Laws of 2020 Pros, Cons, and Challenges with our learned panelists, Advocate Ashok Chaitanya, Advocate L.S. Bindra, and Advocate Captain Kandhari, which is being organized by AIR Law Academies and Research Center. I would like to introduce you all with the speakers. Our first speaker, Advocate Ashok Chaitanya sir, is enrolled as an advocate on the roll of Bar Council of Delhi and appears before the Supreme Court and other courts, tribunals and commissions in Delhi and NCR. Sir also represents Union of India and Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy before the Armed Forces Tribunal in the capacity of Central Government Senior Panel Counsel. Prior to joining Bar, Sir had served Indian Air Force in uniform for 15 years. Our second speaker, Advocate L.S. Bindra sir, started his career as a software engineer in the world's lead IT company IBM. Later, his zeal and passion towards his legal profession attracted him towards a legal practice, and he started practicing law in criminal side in Delhi High Court and all the district courts in Delhi. Sir was appointed as the Government Counsel for Delhi Development Authority (DDA) and Municipal Corporation of Delhi. He received his 40 hours training in Samadhan at the Delhi High Court Mediation and Conciliation Centre. Sir is a member of Sikh Advisory Committee, Delhi Minority Commission, Government of NCT of Delhi, and Sir is also a distinguished member in the International Council of Jurists, London. Our third speaker, Advocate Copland Kandhari ma'am, has done her Masters in Law and also holds a Masters in Business Administration from Maastricht School of Holland. Madam is a founder partner at K&D Legal, practicing in Delhi High Court, District Courts and Supreme Court. K&D Legal is a full-service firm that assists in all the matters pertaining to corporate law, including drafting of agreements, contracts, and conducting due diligence on the third parties during the business negotiations. Madam is expertise in dealing with the family law matters, including marriage law and divorce laws, protection of women from domestic violence, maintenance of government national Capital Territory of India in courts and are handled by some sensitive high-profile matters in the Lok Yukta Adalat. Madam also has experience in handling complex matters in DDA. Madam has also served as the governing board for the Dashmesh Public School, Narayana, New Delhi. And she is also a talented negotiator with an outstanding presentation and communication skills. On September 27, 2020, the President of India assented to the three agricultural bills, namely the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020; second, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on the Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020; and third is the Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020. These legislations were enacted with a specific purpose to bring in the reforms in the agricultural sector in India. The strong political opposition and protest by agriculturalists from the different states of India is mounting pressure to reconsider the legislation. LARRC considers this as an opportunity to bring you to a panel discussion on this debatable issue. So, my first question is to Bindra sir. So, what is your view on Farmers' Bill?
Good evening, everyone. I am L.S. Bindra, advocate, and first of all, I would like to thank AIR to invite us and giving us this opportunity to speak on this Farmer Bills 2020 and the pros and cons and challenges of this bill. And as far as my view is concerned about this bill is that it is very painful that we are here to discuss about a community who feeds the whole country, who is contributing 18% of the total GDP of the country, who provides employment to nearly about 50% of the total workforce of this country. So I'm not so very happy about this bill because there are so many flaws and shortcomings in this bill as far as the farmers are concerned. First of all, India is my view is why I'm not so happy and not satisfied with this bill is because as we know that India is the largest democracy in the world, and in class 6th or 7th we were taught this very simple definition of democracy, which says of the people, for the people, and by the people. So this bill will simply not justify this definition itself. Of the people is okay, by the people is also okay, but the for the people is missing. This bill simply this bill was passed without consulting the farmers, which is made for the farmers. Which this bill was not consulted by the states. It was simply passed by the voice only in the parliament. So, and moreover, my point of view is that bill was not very well explained to the farmers before passing, and even after passing this bill, it on the public forum, it was not explained by the government agencies to the farmers in a manner so that they can at least understand what does government actually wants to be present in that bill. So there are a few questions. We'll proceed further. I have some questions for Mr. Ashok Chaitanya sir. I can ask few questions,
Sir.
sir, about bill, and I'll be more than happy if you can just answer like few disconnects which I have on my personal capacity. So
Sure.
why states were not involved while passing that bill? This is my first question. Next question is why farmers were not consulted about this bill before passing the bill. Next is why clear voting was not conducted in the parliament. Why MSP was not documented. Now government is saying that we agree, we'll give you the MSP. But why it was not implemented, it was not documented in the bill during the documentation or during the making of the bill. Next, why the bill was not debated on the public forum before or even after passing of the bill. What about the weaker farmers in terms of their ability to negotiate? The weaker farmers, they don't have the ability to negotiate in the market. Sponsors may not like to deal with multitude of small and marginal farmers. So these are some basic disconnects which I have personally. Over to you, sir.
Should we first explain a little bit and let Kriti kind of moderate and let us all have a chance to speak, Bindraji, or do you want to take him straight away?
Oh, I mean, it is up to Kriti because she knows how to proceed with it.
Ma'am, my second question is to you only. Why the farmers are protesting? Like,
Why the farmers are protesting? So somewhere Bindraji has kind of given the background that so basically it's a class which is not very literate, and let me put it in a summarized fashion. There are certain corporates, say for example, the Adanis, the Ambanis, other corporates. They had an eye on massive food grain markets of India, and they had certain problems. Number one problem being state had different rules and regulations to buy food grains from farmers. It was difficult for corporates to handle so many states with so many different regulations and taxes. So what is the solution that government comes out with? It took control from the states, made one act for the whole country, so the corporates are happy now. Problem two, corporates will buy crops and store them, but Essential Commodity Act will stop them from storing crops for very long as it increases in the market. So what is the solution that they come up with? They come up with the food crops will not come under the Essential Commodity Act and they can be stored for the longer period. So again, the corporates obviously are happy. Now problem number three, it was hard to determine what type of crop will be grown by which farmer, right? So what is the solution they came up with? That the contract farming for farmers, where they will be told by corporates to grow what kind of crop will be there. So again, once the corporate farming happens, it's more privatized. The corporates are obviously happy. Now, problem number 4, that how will the corporates handle the court cases? Litigation there somewhere else. The litigations will be where the farmers probably are under normal circumstances. When anything goes wrong against the farmers. So the solution they came up with that was the farmers cannot go to courts. They will go to the SDM and DC. So obviously, that makes the corporates very happy. Now, these bills actually were envisaged to bring change in some of the key aspects of the farm economy, the trade in agriculture, commodities, price assurances, etc., the farm services, including the contracts, the stock limits. Now, these bills sought to bring much needed reforms, maybe, if I'm looking from their perspective, such as removing the restrictions of private stock holding, etc. However, farmers, now they're very apprehensive that the free market philosophy supported by these bills would undermine the minimum support price system and makes the farmers very vulnerable. It's a very vulnerable class, it's an illiterate class. So the issues that were raised by the farmers were, one, the federal angle, the provisions in the Farms Produce Trade and Commerce. The Bill 2020 provides for the unfettered commerce in designated trade areas outside the APMC jurisdictions. Apart from this, the bill empowers the central government to issue orders to states in furtherance of the law objectives. However, the matters of trade and agriculture being part of the subjects in the state list have caused obviously resentment in state. We understand that the APMC was basically, the mandis were controlled by the APMCs. The APMC was being obviously controlled by the state, and the state is going to have heavy losses. So what is the next thing that was hugely at default was majorly where there is a resentment, is there was lack of consultation. It was for the farmers, and the farmers were not consulted. During the COVID that this was just brought about, farmers were not consulted, not their leaders, and nothing was talked about. And under the scenario, they were not even allowed to speak, come in groups to even speak about it. Then, of course, also allowing trade zones to come up outside the APMC area, farmers have become obviously very apprehensive that the new system would lead to eventual exit from minimum support price. And the next thing was the absence of any regulation in non-APMC mandis. Now, if I'll cut it short, or if I'll just probably tell it in a little bit in this, is any absence, say, of any regulation in non-APMC mandis, the farmers may find it difficult to deal with corporates as they solely operate on the motive of profit seeking. We all know that they're all big giants, and basically it's profit seeking their motive. And then the next, which is, the apprehensions are that there's a non-favorable market condition. While retail prices have remained high, data from the WPI, the wholesale price index, suggest a deceleration in the farm gate prices for most agricultural produce. And with rising input costs, farmers do not see the free market-based framework providing them remunerative prices. So these fears gain strength, and the experience of states such as Bihar, which abolished the APMC in 2006, is also there. And after the abolition of mandis, the farmers in Bihar on average receive even lower prices compared to the MSP for like most crops. So, so these are the apprehensions. And of course, most important was the way they were dealt was not correct. One, there was lack of communication. There was no consultation. There has been, the reaction has been very, very confrontational, the attitude, whereas it's actually a literate class. If they thought it was reformatory, they could have consulted them, they could have talked to them, they could have involved them, they could have asked them for their suggestions and made the amendments. So primarily, I mean, I can go on, but primarily these were the the problems.
My next question is to Ashok sir. I just want to ask, is the invoking parliamentary powers on the agriculture consistent with the scheme of federalism and the spirit of constitution?
I will first answer to the question that you have put forth, and at the end, I would surely like to respond to some of the questions that sir had put across. Now coming directly to your question, you yourself is saying that the parliament has certain rights to legislate, and now the question comes whether the parliament has the right to legislate on the subject agriculture. And by saying this, you mean to take us to the Schedule 7, the first Schedule 7, the first list, second list, and the concrete list, union state and concrete list, and then obviously the residuary also. Now, obviously, some of the issues relating to the agriculture have directly been put under state list, but it also finds place in concrete list. Then there is a provision under Article 249, where if certain issue relates to national importance, the center has the right to legislate even on the issues which are covered by the state list. And the Essential Commodities Act is the example of this particular thing that the center legislated on it, invoking the Article 249. And one of the controversial legislative amendment relates to this particular statute. So this had been done. So obviously, once the subject which is covered by these three legislations are falling under the concrete list, the center has the right, and at the top of it, Article 249. So there's no doubt whatsoever that the parliament has the right and the power to legislate on the issues relating to the agriculture.
Sir, we are not at all disputing the right of the center, right or power of the center. Nobody is disputing it. Even the farmers are not disputing the right of the center or the power of the center. What is the dispute?
The question Kriti put to me directly relates to the same thing. I think if she wanted to ask something else, obviously she can make it a little more elaborate so that I can answer if something has left out. But the question that was put to me, perhaps she is asking the parliamentary power, whether the parliament has the power to legislate on this particular issue.
All these three laws were made for the benefit of the farmers. Farmer community is almost.
I'll come to that because at this point of time, I was responding only to the question that was put to me by Kriti, whether the parliament has, yes.
I agree, sir. I agree.
That's fair enough. I think we should take it.
I'll surely, because I agree with some of the concerns that you have expressed, but I do not agree. Obviously there are certain concerns that you have expressed. I find a different view, but yes, even I agree with some of the concerns that you have, and I feel that there is a need to focus on it and to refine it. I think the government has taken a very what I should say that democratic approach, that they are open for any suggestion that comes for, and whatever is in the benefit of or in the interest of the farmers, all those things are to be taken into account.
But sir, government is taking
when I'm given that time to answer to those questions, I would surely be responding to them.
Fair enough.
Government is taking initiative and taking it is a democratic step which are taking, that they're giving options to farmers for suggestions. But from past 6 or 7 sessions, I suppose, if I'm not wrong, there are 6-7 sessions held already. They're taking only suggestions. They're not giving any solutions to the farmers.
So actually, in all fairness to the farmers,
outgoing?
No, sir. I'll tell you. This is factually incorrect. This is factually incorrect. Before bringing even the ordinance, if we see the manifesto of the political party which is in government, they had promised that they would be making the income of the farmers double by 2022, and they had promised that they would be bringing a lot of reforms in the agricultural sector. So this is part of it. Now the standing committee had sought a lot of suggestions, and certain suggestions had come, and that is how I am saying that the political parties, the different political parties had the occasions to discuss on this particular issue. So to say that a particular party of a particular government of its own had done it without consultation is factually not correct, perhaps. But yes, I agree that more interaction, more discussions on this particular aspect should have taken place. It should not have been passed in such a hurry and in that
Yeah.
particular way, because we as a lawyer, when we say that justice should not only be done but it appears to have been done, so that approach should have been adopted. The
Correct.
message should have gone to the masses that yes, the government has consulted to all the stakeholders. Everybody has heard. Everybody has given the opportunity to put forward their say. So had it been done, it would have been better. Be
And I
that as
also
it may,
feel,
now what is the situation today? What is the situation today? Now the government is taking the suggestions. Government is coming with the solutions. There was some apprehension with the MSP. Government off the record gave the assurance at the level of the Prime Minister, at the level of the Agriculture Minister. Now the farmers wanted that it should be written. Government agreed for it. Now they want something else. Now
but sir,
like
in all
yes,
fairness, this is all that democratic approach that we're talking of has happened now after the agitation has been going on for almost 3 to 4 months, and now that they're sitting on the borders. Otherwise, and considering it's a COVID situation, and WHO has already they're giving subsidies, they're giving us all the help with the condition that there will not be assembly of such kind. So where there was a necessity to pass a farm bill under these situations, or to make Hindi compulsory in Haryana or in the courts, or to have any of these legislations during COVID situation, that becomes, I think, probably those are the things that put fear in the mind of not just the farmers, the common man, about the intention. I think it is more like all of us agree that the way it is done probably could have been handled better, even if there were reforms, if probably those people were explained.
now there is other side of it. Now there is the other side of it. One segment has certain apprehensions. Now those who are in government, they have responded to those apprehensions, and those apprehensions have been sorted out. But at the same time, now yes, COVID situation is going on, but we should be happy that our government is not in a hibernation. It's working despite the fact that the COVID situation is there. The government is working on all the the areas that they are out to work.
That, so
Why,
that
why,
those are those which are controversial areas the government is working on.
now it has been made the controversial. It has been made the controversial. That is what the government is saying, that you come point wise as to now see the farmers were saying that they had the apprehension on the MSP. Everybody knows, and sir, Mr. Mitra sir had very rightly pointed out, and you yourself also in your opening statement, you said that despite the fact that the MSP is there in place, still the small farmers, they are not getting that. You gave the example of Bihar. That is absolutely correct. There is no
Yes.
doubt in that. We all know that despite the MSP being in place, only 6% farmers get the MSP. Rest of the
Absolutely.
farmers, they do not get. We also know that with all these reformative or the controversial three legislations, as we may call it, the small farmers which are forming a greater chunk of the farmer community, they would not be having that much of say and that much of benefits out of the reformative legislations. Obviously, the big farmers would surely be having. But kindly consider, when the Green Revolution was put into place, only the Punjab and the Haryana, the two states, got the benefit of it. Only the two states got the greater chunk of fund allocation in the agri sector. Now, because of this, there has been the disbalance. The other parts of the, if you
No,
see the
I think it's the
situation.
Punjab. So when we're saying Punjab, when it first started, it was Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal. It was the first CM who had, I've forgotten his name, who had come from, who'd studied abroad, and he came, made a team, put volunteers, understood from the farmers what they want. They gave tube wells, encouraged farming. In fact, he started a whole revolution that time. That time, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal were one. So when we're even today talking of,
this was the project of the central government. This was the project of the central government, and
so what I'm trying to say here is that it's not at this moment. It will be all states affected. Punjab is only spearheading it. It is only spearheading. Otherwise, it is all farmers affected.
I'm not on that point. I am not on that point. What I am saying that once you are, bringing certain things, the Green Revolution. I'm not saying that the Green Revolution was a bad thing, and obviously it could not have been experimented, taking all these states into pipeline. Certain states are, certain selected states were to be taken. I'm just giving an example that, like when the Green Revolution was brought.
Yeah. I think we are going to continue. So if Kriti, there's nothing we can continue. We can continue and discuss like the whole day. If there's anything else that you want to ask categorically for the audience, please do so.
Yes.
Sir, I would like to say something. Since day one, government is saying that we'll keep the MSP. We'll keep the MSP. That government pretends that MSP was there, it was never removed. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, sir. Then why this MSP is not documented in the bill?
I'll answer to it.
Can there be verbal legislation?
I will answer to it. Now, kindly let me know whether the MSP had been documented in any other legislation earlier. Now, this is administrative. This is administrative mechanism. Sir, kindly. This is an administrative mechanism that was brought in by the then government, and this is continuing. Now, is there any mention in any of the three legislations that the MSP would be done away with? Now, in one of the, I was just going through the rules that has been framed by the government under the one of the controversial legislation. In that, the MSP has been mentioned that if there is a dispute relating to this MSP, the dispute resolution mechanism that has been brought in through this particular legislation would be subject matter of it. I'm not talking about the act. I'm talking about the rules. I'm talking about the rules that has been brought in. So, and be that as it may, if the farmers had certain apprehensions relating to the MSP, that has been taken cognizance of. Now the government said they demanded that they wanted assurance that was there. Then they said that we want it in writing. Government agreed to it. Now they are saying that it should be brought into the legislation through amendment. Government is open for that also. Let that happen. Now to say that make it a political point and to say that the entire legislation has to be rolled back, I fail to understand as to why it is. Like this is for the benefit. There are a whole lot of things beneficial to the farmers. Even I do not agree some of the dispute resolution mechanism. Yes, there needs to be something to be done with, because the farmers' interest has to be protected. I do not agree completely with the dispute resolution mechanism that has been brought in. Although, if you see, the STM would only appoint one chairman, and the two or maybe one the members would be appointed by both the parties, both the disputing litigating parties. Now, some were saying that they have the battery of lawyers, the corporate sectors, and they would dominate over the farmers. Now, there is a provision that the lawyers would not be allowed in that.
To interrupt you in between, we would coming back to MSP topic afterwards. Sir Bindra sir, I have one more question to you. That is, what will happen to the small farmers who don't have big plots of land after these lands are enforced, since it is said that the farmers are a price taker and not a price maker?
Certainly, that is what is the concern is. What will they do? The small farmers, they cannot negotiate. They cannot go to different states to sell their product. So that is the main concern. This is one of the questions which I would like to ask Ashok sir, that what will the small farmers do? Some of them, they don't have their own land chunks. They are not at all in a position to negotiate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At this point, I'm sorry this question was to you. If I am allowed just for 1 minute, so I'll respond. Otherwise, because the question is to sir. Sir, I agree with you that the small farmers are not going to get much benefit out of all these three legislations. But at the same time, there's not going to be any damage to their interest so far as the extant legislations are there in place at this point of time. One, second, if there is some problem, the way out has to be, some way has to be found out. Now, we may go for cooperative kind of farming, etc. As consolidation, etc. Happens. So, obviously, on this particular aspect, something more is required to be done, and both the parties, the government and the farmers are also required to put forward some concrete suggestion on this particular thing that they want, merely say that you roll it back or it's a black law and all. This would not suffice. Come out with some positive suggestion.
Sir, the thing is that when you're vetting a draft.
Ma'am, just a minute. Ma'am, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you. Sir, just to answer your question, you are saying that small farmers are not benefited. Do you know that 80% farmers are small farmers? So out of 100, 80 farmers are not benefited. How this is a reform bill? This is not a bill, which is the reformation of the previous bill.
Absolutely correct. On this count, I agree with.
Sir, your answer to your second question is MSP was not mentioned in the previous bill. This bill is a reformation of the previous bills, right? These bills were introduced just to reform the previous bills, right? You agree with that? And MSP was not introduced in this bill. Then what is the purpose of reformation of the previous bills?
No. See, the two things. Because this bill was not for the MSP, because they had, the MSP was already there, so there was no need of bringing any reform to it, and MSP was going on. Now, the issue that was there before the government to address with, they had focused on that. But now, since this particular point has come before the government has very rightly taken a step that yes, we are open to accept it. They wanted in writing, they agreed to it. They wanted it to be, and you are also saying that it should be brought into the legislation. So they are open for it, that we will bring the necessary amendment. So what is the problem in it? If you are demanding certain things and the government is open for it, so accept it. What is the problem?
I'll also say more things. It's not just the MSP. It is not just the MSP. Like if I'll go one by one, the exploitation and the monopoly that it will give rise to, or say hoardings that, so if I'll go step by step for better understanding, if I'll just peek into the bills and the slight points of it, like for example, the farmers empowerment and protection agreement of price assurance and the farm services bill. It draws a framework for a contract farming agreement between the farmers and buyer before sowing of a crop, and for dispute settlement describes 3-level mechanisms the conciliation board, the subdivisional magistrate, and the appellate authority. But however, the points of contention, are different. It is, like that under this law, it is not mandatory for a company to make a written contract with the farmer for any contract farming. So even if the company violates any terms of the contract, the farmer cannot prove it. And if all of you have read the bill, everything is been left in a very, very absurd manner. There is a lot of may. We understand, like a common person, forget the farmers. A common person will not understand the difference between may and shall. Everything where the government could have regulated, it says may. I'll read out a few things, if we have time later, which I kind of marked, which are extremely dangerous. Then it does not have any provision to penalize the companies which do not register their contracts. For example, last year the potato farmers from Gujarat witnessed a big issue where PepsiCo attempted to penalize the potato farmers for growing the same seed varieties. The farmer organizations finally had to knock on the doors of the court and agitate to get justice. Eventually, the poor farmer has to always agitate to get justice because they're just taken for granted. And this is not now. And this is not one political party. Earlier there was Congress. They didn't do anything for them. Today they don't have a face. So today BJP wants to enter again, because of which they're trying to get the corporates in. Basically, it is the farmer from day one till date which has suffered, there is no pension plan for them, there is no education plan for them, there is no health plan for them, there are no insurances to safeguard them, and they're basically on their own. The bill does not describe or specify the contract price of the crop, that at least it should be equivalent or above the MSP. It means that the contractor companies can pay whatever price they want to the farmer, and India's experience of contract farming has been poor, with farmers getting really low rates through the contract as compared to selling it in the government mandis on MSP. At least there is government regulation. Then the Essential Commodities Act bill, if we peek a little bit, if I'm like just summarizing a little bit, is it empowers the central government to regulate food items in an extraordinary circumstances or impose stock limits only, in case there is a steep rise price. However, again, here also, the points of contention are that till now, the farmer cooperatives and farmer producer, I mean, there is so much more that needs to be looked at, and they're offering the good price for the crop. So under the bill, the farmers are not getting any new freedom. On the contrary, the government is now removing all the foodstuffs from this category and allowing the companies and traders to store as much quantity of food as they want, which amounts to basically the regulation of the hoarding. It's going to promote hoarding. And that's not only going to affect the farmers, it's eventually going to affect people like you and me, the normal common man. And then through this amendment, the government is giving up its power to even prevent the hoarding, controlling price inflation. And according to the law, the government can intervene only if there's a 50% price rise over previous year's price in case of non-perishable goods, and 100% price rise over the previous year's perishable goods. And if we talk of more points, talking of the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce, the promotion and facilitation bill, that allows an intrastate and interstate trade of farmers' produce, which was anyway, it was already there. I mean, Punjab has been supplying Tinu to, South, Karnataka, Bangalore, etc. Himachal has been sending its apples to everywhere, that it does, and it's famous for. So it's not like it's done something new, but the government says that now the farmers will have freedom to sell anything to anyone. And under the bill, the agri business companies, corporate traders will be allowed to open their own markets to purchase from the farmers. Now, however, the biggest fear coming from this is that it will destroy the level playing, field between the APMC market and the other traders. And under the bill, the trade outside the APMC mandis is virtually unregulated. And the farmers, if we go further, is farmers were demanding that in case the government is allowing new set of, say, farm markets to come up, the state and the local government should be given power to oversee at least their functions and also regulate them. However, the demand has been regulated, ignored. Now, simple thing like, at least there used to be a fear of that the APMC will, probably cancel their license in case somebody, does some kind of an unfair trade or some kind of a violation. Today, there is no fear of any license being cancelled. Anybody with a PAN or a government document can just come and take. So virtually, if there's a big giant who comes and takes probably the entire production of say 4 villages and does not give them money or teach them or any of that sort, they have no recourse. And presently, the farmers feel that the traders or the corporate or the agent working inside the APMC mandis are involved in any like the same. It is beyond the capacity of small farmers to pursue given their financial constraints. So practically, if we're looking at the poor farmers at the end of the day just being left with fighting for themselves, fighting. There's nothing about collateral that is being said. What if there are collaterals that they create? What if they're not? For example, Lay's had taken potatoes from them for their production, right? So first year they took their entire potatoes. The second year, when they had enough to store from the farmers, they said that there is this small something framework that they gave, that the potato has to pass through that frame, and the rest of the potatoes are not going to be taken. What is the farmer supposed to do? The farmer did not have enough money for the diesel to bring back also now the potatoes and go elsewhere to sell it. So the farmer had to drop the entire production, whatever that they did not take, right there on the roads. They had no money to transport it back. So things like that is going to be very difficult.
I want to respond. I'm sorry, it was turn off Vidra sir, but still I want to make certain very small comments, ma'am. Now, can you see, through all these 3 legislations, nothing has been taken away from the farmers which they are getting at this point of time. Now, the question is whether something more could have been done. I agree with this. Something has been done. Whether there is a scope that more could have been done, yes. More, deliberations could have taken place. Like in dispute resolution mechanism, something could have been done. For the small farmers, something could have been done. Now, the main thing that was just eating the interest of the farmers was the middlemen. Now, even in APMC mechanism, if you see, MSP is there. Now, the BOLI is to be put in, but what they do, they have just, got into some kind of arrangement that all the Arhatiyas would, declare only one BOLI. So ultimately, the farmer is losing. Now, it's not that the APMC system is going to be done away with. It would be existing. It would be remaining there. Certain apprehensions farmers had, those apprehensions have been answered to by the government, and certain suggestions had come. Government says that we are open to accept it. Now, something additional has been given, that the farmers would have, in addition to the mandis, certain other forums where they can sell their product. Obviously, in this system, the small farmers may not have that kind of facility, because the corporate sectors would not go to the small farmers. They would always go to the big farmers from where they can get the things in chunk. That is there. But then again, that is where the role of the farmer organizations comes into play. The cooperative system has to be taken care of. That has to be, taken recourse to in our farming system, so that the small farmers can also get benefited through all these things. So, if nothing has been taken away from the existing laws, what you are getting through the existing laws, then how can you say that this is a black law? Something more or even greater you expect, that is understandable, and you have every right to expect.
Law. Yeah, we are only saying that there. I'll give you an example, sir. I had gone to Mohali, which is in Punjab, and it is one of the industrial areas. So there are very literate people there, and the people I was dealing with were IIT engineer passed out from IIT, and both very well-read brothers. and I gave them, they told me upfront, this is the amount of money, please take it. You can keep making your contract. We've approved of everything. It was a rental agreement. And they said, and aap ye pakdiye, 1 lakh rupees pakdiye. And I said, no, first you see the contract. They said, oh, there is no problem. Whatever contract, once we've decided the terms and conditions, there is no problem. I said, no, there are penalties. There are a lot of other things. Whatever you want to do, madam, you can do. I gave them my contract. I said, no, doesn't matter. First you read the contract. He did not read the contract. He took the contract in his hand and he says, madam, these are 4 pages. So I said, yes, the 4 pages. He says, madam, whatever you have written in these 4 pages, write them on 1 page for me. I will sign it. हमारे यहाँ पे तो ज़बान चलती है. I said, I tried to explain to him, sir, you cannot talk like that. I mean, you're like IIT pass out. He said, madam, you're in Punjab. मेरे को अब मैं ज़बान देता हूँ आपको. So these poor farmers, I'm talking about an IIT pass out.
I have answer to it. I have answer to it. Kindly, I have an answer to it. Kindly
Yes.
see, let us take our own profession. We
Yes.
take our clients. We get the
Right.
Wakalatnama signed.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
None
Actually, we
of
have
us
a short
go
of
through the
time.
stipulations of the
Yes, sure.
Wakalatnama.
I
None
think
of
Jyoti
us
is
go
having
through
a
the
hard time
stipulations of
controlling us.
Wakalatnama. We can take the example of insurance companies. So all these things come with
So keeping the fragility and the delicate situation in mind, like when we even do drafting for somebody who's an illiterate in our court, we always say read in verbatim, or we explain in vernacular. It is a very simple, small little thing, that vernacular that you explain to them. You have to read it out. It is our duty to read it out in Hindi to them.
these are the very good suggestions which should be incorporated. So let all these suggestions come before the government, and I'm sure that the government would take care of it.
But sir,
only
professionally,
only because on the basis of surmises and conjectures, if we start demanding that the statute should be rolled off,
I'll give you a reason for it, sir. I'll give you my reason for it. हम जब drafting भी करते हैं, तो हम जब उसके अंदर vetting करते हैं, vetting is always more difficult than drafting. I think
Ashok
Jyoti
sir,
is having a very difficult time with us.
This is for me, this is a license to exploit the farmers for sponsors and for contractors and for big companies. This is a license to exploit. Now, with all due respect, you are agreeing to almost everything, this way or that way. Maybe MSP, maybe MSP. First of all, we'll take MSP. You are agreeing that government, previously it was not mentioned, government is ready to mention it. Okay. Secondly, you are saying that if there are contractors, you're giving solution to that you're giving a solution to that if there are contractors, you are giving solutions to that this can be taken care of. So there, whatever the problems are, you're giving solutions to all the problems. Why can't this be done before passing this bill? Why can't farmers be consulted before creating of this bill?
I said that all the parties were consulted. The standing committee. In the standing committee, all the political parties have the participation. They were part of it. Even the chief minister's consultations were done. They had participated. That is the question. Today, the Amarinder Singh, he raised so many objections, and he was a part to it. He was a part to the consultations that was undertaken by the center. That is what we are saying. Now the question. Now my very basic question.
Precisely what I started with, sir. All the parties.
One item where anything which is existing in the extant law at this point of time has been taken away by the government. What I'm saying is something more could have been done, and for that something more, if any suggestion comes, government is recipient to it, government is open to it, we should welcome it.
What comes to my mind going way forward, of course, both of you can.
In the parliament, clear voting was not conducted. It was just passed mere on the voice voting. No states was consulted. No farmers was consulted.
This is the claim of the opposition, whereas the ruling of the presiding officer says that yes, this has been done in accordance with the law. And if they had any problem, they would have, they should have gone to the Supreme Court. They have every right to approach the Supreme Court.
Under
Why
the
did
current
they knock the
scenario,
door of the Supreme Court?
see, under the current
Mere
COVID
allegation,
situation,
mere allegation without any reason is perhaps.
I think what we should do is probably going way forward is that there is, you know, Section 6 which exempts the transactions done outside the physical premises of APMC mandis from any market fee of cess or levy imposed by state governments. The farm union claim that it leads to an unlevel playing field between the APMC mandis and the private collection centers or the market created under the new act. So I think the first thing that they should probably try and do is have some amendments to say this section, when the all purchases of paddy and wheat undertaken through the government regulated mandis in Punjab, it now attracts like say a 3% APMC market fee and a 3% rural development cess. So in Haryana, the same levies to amount to about 2%. So I think if they make changes to say section, I know Kriti, I'm trying to wind up, say section 6, you know, and they make it like they take care of the level so that the APMC and the imposed state government by the state government rather than the APMC can be imposed on the private collection centers and markets as well, so that there's a level. The second amendment I feel probably going forward that they can do is to section 15, that any disputes arising out of the transaction in the alternative markets which cannot be entertained in regular civil courts as of now. Instead, these will have to, like what they're saying is instead that these will have to compulsorily be referred to conciliation board and the appellate authority, which, you know, will not have powers. So I think we should leave it to the farmers that if they don't get relief, that they should be allowed to go to the courts in case of a problem. Maybe that kind of an amendment, you know, then another amendment which could be possibly to section 4, which requires any trader like buying or selling in an alternate market to only have, right now they say only have an income tax permanent, the PAN number, right? Or such any document which may be notified by the central government. I think the unions say that this is a very limited requirement, allowing room for fly-by-night operators who will probably not even pay the farmers. So this is unlike the traders licensed by the APMC, like I said before, mandis, who cannot afford to default because the licenses, you know, are cancelled. So, you know, like, I mean, the farmers need to, of course, the center's view is that we've tried to make it simpler, but actually it's not simpler. It's like giving a problem, further problem to the farmers. So if they make these tiny, probably say amendments, it could be going forward, it could be a better way to look at it. Of course, like you're saying, sir, Ashok sir, that suggestions are being looked at. We all know drafting is way easier when you're making a draft in a case than vetting somebody else's case continuously who has not been. If I sit with a client, I will take his details. What is happening to him?
Actually, we are very short of time.
Very well said. Very well said. Very well said.
You know, हम उसके points ना लिख के कि उसका केस क्या है, हम किसी और की करेंगे और दे देंगे, तो उसके अंदर कितनी vetting की जरूरत होगी? Kriti, how much time do we have?
Ma'am,
Sir, your comment on Ashok sir, no inputs were taken from the farmers. As we, for our case, we take input from the clients and then we'll prepare his case, right? In this case, no inputs were taken. What is your stand on that, sir?
No, I'm saying that inputs were taken. I'm saying the first thing that they had put into their manifesto. One, second, there has been one commission. I'm just forgetting the name of that particular commission. On the recommendation of that particular commission,
Swaminathan Commission you're talking about, sir? Swaminathan Commission. Swaminathan Commission.
No, not Swaminathan Commission. Sorry.
If they take the Swaminathan, there would have not been a problem only.
No. I'm not talking about Swaminathan
There
Commission.
would not be any problem.
Yeah.
No,
What is the next question right now?
No. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm not talking about the Swaminathan Commission. There was a commission. I'm just forgetting the name of that particular commission. The recommendation of that commission, these legislations were
why not Swaminathan Commission
proposed. Then these were sent to the standing committee. Ordinance was there. The arguments and the inputs were taken in the standing committee. We all know that in the standing committee, all political parties who are having the representation in the parliament are they find the birth. So through that, the elaborate discussion took place. Not only this, the chief ministers were called in.
Discussion
The Punjab chief minister, Captain Amarinder Singh, was part of it, and they had approved it. That is what the question we are having
we're
today.
talking about
That
the
why
farmers.
this criticism today? You were part of it. You
Sir,
had
we're not
approved
talking
to
about political
proposal.
parties. We're not talking about the political parties. I started with whether it was Congress, whether it is BJP.
Today it's a very open that now if you see how many farmers are taking part into it, the Punjab state farmers, where the assembly has said that they are not agreeing to these legislations brought in by the center. That is one.
I'll tell you, so there are lakhs of them who have.
And rest of the farmers, they are agreeing to it. One. Second,
I should move to a last question right now.
I'll just 1 second. The way they were treated when they came for a peaceful march is that there were tear gas thrown, water cannons on them, not in the air. It is, and they're all mostly about 60 years old. They're all 60 years old and above.
Should they be allowed to shout the Khalistan Jindabad? Should they be allowed to?
There was no. This was a peaceful march.
I think
these miscreants, they gave langar to the police people who beat them in the morning.
We are not getting the armed commodity. What they are doing, is this the way that you
non-political. It was a total non-political movement. Total non-political.
These are all the political. These are all the political drama that has been done by the political parties.
Not at all. It was the first agitation. It is the first agitation of this large scale across
India. Legislations are the
pro-farmers.
All these three legislations are in the interest of the farmers.
Not at all. See, you are politicizing it, just like the political parties. These people are simple farmers जिन्होंने लंगर खिलाया पुलिस वालों को.
Actually,
from the factual position. These are the bitter truth.
you guys. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
All the farmers are very well read. They are very aware of what is happening to them, and it is the farmers who are doing this agitation.
You were saying that the farmers are illiterate. Now farmers are very well versed with all these laws, and they are very intelligent.
They are very intelligent. They are well informed, very intelligent, but very well informed.
They are well informed. They are intelligent. There is no doubt.
If there is a protest in Punjab, if there is a protest in Punjab, they are related to Copeland. Just a minute. If there is a protest in Punjab, they are related to Khalistan. If there is a protest in Shaheen Bagh, they are related to Pakistan. If there is a protest in Bangladesh, they are related to West Bengal. They are related to
Right now in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh.
They shoot the banners. They said that the Indira ko thok diya, Modi ko bhi thok denge. What the farmers
Speakers are
have to do
requested
with
to
this?
please calm down
What the
right now.
farmers have to do with
This is
this?
not true.
We have seen the
This
video.
is not true.
We have seen the video. Not one or two, lot of videos.
Please calm down. Sir, this is a panel discussion going on.
I'll tell you what, actually, when the center has also had an approach of on this very delicate, fragile subject of dealing with the farmers, they have also had a very confrontational attitude, which is why it's led to this problem. They have not also, there's been lack of communication. Also, the timings were incorrect. Also, there was no recourse. The bill is defective. The act now is defective. There is no legal recourse. There was no mind applicability. They took advantage of the COVID situation. Now, the easiest tarika is Congress says BJP ne humne lagu nahi karne diya tha. BJP says lagu kar do. We are talking of the farmers. The farmers made it very clear. Langar agar a political party ne lagaya bhi hai, hum nahi khayenge. Farmers have made the langar. They had the langar. They gave it to the police people who beat them in the morning, and they did not allow any political party to come. But it's a very easy approach for the government to say Khalistan or to say Pakistan or to say
no, it's not the government.
Political
Government is
Congress.
not saying anything. No.
The bill was defective. It was not entertained with the.
This is we the people, we the public.
There's a panel discussion going on.
We are part of the we the people. We are part of the we the people. We have seen
This
it.
is normal for
We have seen
advocates.
it.
We always,
Which
it turns out like
minister has
that.
said like this? Which minister has made any such
Sorry
allegation?
to stop you. Sorry to stop you, guys, but I think this is a panel discussion that has now been converted into debating session now. But
How much time do
I
we have
think,
to speak?
ma'am, time is over now. Like only 5-7 minutes are left right now, and
I would like to just say one sentence. That's it.
So
ये
we
देश
have
है
discussed
वीर
everything
जवानों का.
except what is there in the bill. That is why I had suggested
I'm just saying
that let
one
us
line.
confine to the legal issues
Yes,
which are involved into the
sir,
bill.
you are the
We
one
could have
who
done
went to Khalistan. We were sticking to the subject. आप खालिस्तान पहुंच गए. हम तो बात ही नहीं कर रहे थे उसकी. हम तो बोल रहे थे ये political. I started with Congress is also the same. BJP also the same. No party has worked for the farmers. आप उसमें anyway saying that I will only say ये देश है वीर जवानों का और किसानों का, और जो वो वीर जवान भी है ना वो किसान के ही बेटे हैं. So the किसान should have been given a soft
मुझे आ
corner.
रहा है क्योंकि उन वीर जवानों में मैं रहा हूँ, यूनिफॉर्म पहन के मैं सरहद पे गया हुआ हूँ, इसलिए मुझे वो दर्द पता है.
तो सर तो फिर exactly
पता है.
then you will also understand sir कि
और किसान भी हूँ मैं.
तो सर
दोनों ही हूँ मैं, किसान भी हूँ और जो है यूनिफॉर्म पहन के सरहद पे भी गया हूँ, इसलिए मुझे वो दर्द पता है.
जिसको पेंशन नहीं मिलता है, जिसको कोई हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, जिसको ओवर द एन नंबर ऑफ इयर्स नो मैटर व्हिच पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इट वाज, जिसको आज तक कभी कोई एजुकेशन का बेनिफिट, व्हाट आर द इंसेंटिव्स, व्हाट इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ, व्हाट इज हाउ हैव द फार्मर हु इज फेड, who is actually the spine of the country, what has any government done to take care of them, and how are they involved in making this bill? Who asked them? What representations? Why in the COVID situation? Why the state of our farmers के 60 साल के ऊपर के आज बॉर्डर पे खड़े हुए हैं, और पूरे सब स्टेट्स में हो रहा है. There is in Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar is already affected. मतलब कौन सी, which state is not a part of this movement at this moment? Why is it that in the COVID situation this became such a huge thing that the farmers were not even taken in confidence, whereas it was actually directly affecting them? So that I would वही ये देश है वीर जवानों का, अलबेलों का और किसानों का. So they need to be looked after.
I just would request Ashok sir and Bindra sir to conclude this discussion, because we are like time is finished for the discussion also.
No, definitely we'll conclude, but we can only conclude this this session. But the problem, it can be only concluded by the government. You know, government will have to come forward and will have to understand that government is dealing with a population which is 50% of the country, which is giving 18% of the GDP of the country. So there are flaws. Everybody or anybody in this country is saying that there are flaws in this.
And I think Ashok sir has also agreed to that there has to be legal resources and better legal framework that needs to be made.
This needs to be taken care of on a serious note. You know, people are sitting on the roads, and those who are feeding the country, who are feeding the whole world. In fact, this community is feeding the whole world. If they'll forget about protesting or forget about whatever they're doing, if they'll sit idle for 6 months, we cannot even eat. We'll get nothing to eat, I'm telling you. If they'll sit only 6 months or like 7 months or 8 months, they'll sit idle, will not get anything to eat, I'm telling you.
वो अशोक जी ने समराइज कर ही दिया कि वो खुद भी वीर जवान हैं और वो खुद भी किसान के बेटे हैं. We need to look after
that. To this extent, I completely agree with Bindra sir. There is no doubt in that. Farmers are not like any other segment of the society. They are backbone of our society, and I completely agree with you that if they keep sitting on the roads, we would not have anything to eat. Actually, sir, they are the person who
this is very shameful for us.
No doubt in that.
This is very shameful for us.
Having said this, I could have understood if the government would have been rigid that no, we are not going to listen you. We could have understood. We could have
after 4 months they've asked them. Now, after agitation,
would not be accepted. But this is not the case. Government is coming with wholehearted, completely open, holding rounds after rounds talks, accepting the demands, lot of demands earlier they were saying that if we get the assurance in the writing with respect to the MSP, we would withdraw our agitation. Now the government is open even to incorporate into the legislation. So now
MSP is just the tip of the
major
iceberg.
demand has been
It is not
accepted.
the whole thing.
Then what is the harm in rolling out this one? We cannot hold the nation on the in emergency-like situation. You have every right to protest, and there should be way out.
Sir,
You
50%
should
population means half a nation.
that we would,
Sir, 50% population means half a nation.
The Delhi, we would stop all the entry and exit points. This is not the way. This is not the
Sir,
way.
After 4 months of agitation,
Moreover,
peaceful.
when you
Excuse
are,
me,
when you
50%
are
population
going
means half a
certain
nation. 50% population
to
means
say
half a nation, and 50% population is 50.
Sir, kaha 50%, all the 100% farmers have come on the road.
Sir,
Only
that is
few
what I'm
state
saying.
farmers, only few
50%
state farmers.
population
No,
means
sir. Only of
Yesterday
Punjab
I
and
had seen-
Haryana.
yesterday I had
Only
seen the video
Punjab,
of
little
that
bit of
farmer
Haryana,
who are not
and little bit
executed.
of UP. Sir, we are going to see on 8th all the farmers. It will not get all the
Let me
farmers.
conclude it. Let me
It is
conclude
only
it.
Punjab and Haryana right
I
now
know
with a little bit
I
of
know
UP.
the constraints of the organizers. Let us conclude it. When you enact any law, bring anything, obviously there would always be scope of improvement. Similarly, the situation with these legislations, there is a scope of improvement, and obviously, even in our constitution, there have been numerous number of amendments. So this is mere an enactment. So whatever the necessary things are there, all those things can be incorporated through the amendment. What is the problem in it? Why to
Yes,
demand for rollback? It should not be there.
So
This is
I'll
my
only so I would only say when we are doing in simple language a draft, we can vet a draft when we have taken points from the client, but we cannot draft
Madam,
from somebody.
Madam, one example.
Sir, I didn't interrupt you,
One
sir.
example. Kindly allow me just 1 second, because this is the repeated one. 1 second. If you find lot of proposed rules and regulations, and the papers have been put on the website of the Ministry of Law and Justice, we as advocate, let us introspect. How many times we have we have just traveled through the that particular website? How many times we have given our suggestions? It comes, it is publicized also. How many times we give our proposal?
So that's a
So
very
to say
limited.
that,
That's a very myopic
once
view.
the discussions took place into the
It's a
standing
very
committee,
myopic view,
the
sir.
chief ministers were called in, the discussions held there. Then
But
how can we say
this is
that
not
this
a
has been
democratic
It is not
legislation.
directly the
This is not
party
a
directly
democratic
affected.
legislation.
Yes.
If it is made for the people and people are
Excuse me,
not,
speakers.
then it will not justify the simple definition of democracy.
Yeah, and I'll say it's
Sorry
It is
a
for
to
the people. People are not happy with the law.
Yeah, it's like telling a non-veg person ये vegetarian तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा है तो तुम non-veg नहीं करोगे और
Yes.
if it's a vegetarian person you tell the person no non-vegetarian has high proteins तुम्हें यह खाना पड़ेगा.
सर
इसको
छठी
बताना
क्लास में
चाहिए
पढ़ाया
कैसे-
था
that is what
डेमोक्रेसी
today's
की सर छठी क्लास में डेमोक्रेसी की
that
डेफिनेशन
is
पढ़ाई
what
थी हमने.
today's agitators are saying. They are not
Yes,
open
ma'am.
to accept
Excuse me,
the additional things that is
I
being
would request
provided to
the
them.
Because it
panelists
was
to please
faulty.
calm down and
क्लास में डेफिनेशन पढ़ाई थी 6वीं क्लास के बच्चे को पढ़ाते हैं ऑफ द पीपल फॉर द पीपल बाय द पीपल. जिनके लिए ये कानून बना रहे हैं फॉर द पीपल, अगर वो एक चीज बीच में से मिसिंग है तो डेमोक्रेसी कहाँ रह गई कंट्री के अंदर?
मिसिंग कहाँ वो उनका कोई व्यू पॉइंट ही नहीं ले गया. MSP is only an iceberg. There is no view point.
यहाँ पे खाली दो चीजें हैं. Of the people by the people. Sir,
Majority
of
of
the
people
people by the people.
Merely
Ashok
because
sir.
some people have
Ashok sir.
They
chose
are
their
majority,
enemy
sir.
and they have
Ashok
taken,
sir.
they have brought the government to its knee.
Government
Doesn't mean that
Excuse me, speakers, please calm down.
they are the mouthpiece of the entire we the people.
All right,
I do not agree with this.
Ashok Chaitanya ji,
एक second.
Bindra ji,
I would
I
request
think- I think
Ashok sir and
we'll take
Bindra
it
sir to
one
please calm down.
Just
we'll
1
take
minute.
it. I
Sir,
think we'll take it.
I would request
Of the
both
people
the speakers to
by
calm
the
down.
people.
Bindra ji,
मतलब लोग गवर्नमेंट का क्या वो है माइंडसेट, ये है ऑफ द पीपल की लोग हमें बना दे और हम लोगों को रूल कर ले. लोगों के लिए जो कुछ हमने करना है वो हम कुछ ना करें.
और उसका
Vidra
बजट
ji,
तो लोग दे रहे हैं, उसका
I
बजट
would
तो लोग दे
request,
रहे हैं,
I would request to
डेमोक्रेटिक
please
वे में लोग उसे
calm
बजट
down.
दे रहे हैं. They are putting their stop to what the government is doing.
Ashok sir, sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to finish this panel discussion. I think more of a debating session right now. And I would request now Mr. Singh for the vote of thanks and token of appreciation.
Thank you so
Ashok
much.
sir.
Very good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks a lot to our eminent speaker, Bindra sir, Ashok sir, and Kopni madam. It's really, we are lucky today to have all of you in this the special panel discussion, because nowadays really hot discussion, heat discussion, whatever the word you use throughout India, even out of the India, under this discussion going on. And hope it was a fantastic panel discussion converted into debate also, obviously, because if the two parties there, and practically all are the basically good eminent lawyer also on the court and the out of court also, we are discussing at the very, I think, important subjects in India, because we all are dependent on our farmers and also with the ruling government party. So very soon I expect government will come with a plan and satisfy our farmers also. So it will really, again, thank you to all of you. I would like to share also one thing. During the pandemic time, All India Reporter has brought some very feasible and on the cheaper rate, the app for our law students and advocates of our country. This time, last 9 months, we are really suffering out from the income. Everyone, especially our law fraternity. So we brought in one app. That's the AR Infotech app. It's a wonderful app. You can also go and register yourself, install it through the Play Store, check in at laptop also. So it's all Supreme Court judgments are there since 1950. All high courts are there since 1936. Privy Council, more than 4,000 articles, all state acts. So many varieties we are putting there, and more points and more articles, more varieties. We are also coming up. So every 15 days we are going to add on more varieties on our app. It's a very cheaper, my dear all participants. It's only 1800 we are giving per annum with the all varieties. And please, I also request my all eminent speaker, please install, sir. We will provide you this for a year. Go ahead, and Kirti will guide all of you. So thank you so much again to all participants and all our eminent speakers. Thanks
Thank you
again.
very much, sir.
Thank you, AR. Thank you, all the organizers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kriti.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
panel speakers.
Thank you very much, Ashok sir. Thank you. Thank you, Koplin ma'am.
Thank you, Vidra ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashok ji.
Have a good day.
You
Thank you,
too.
sir.
Good evening.
And